What have you thought just about when all the information came out about how the search is going and some of the things they're doing, it was kind of a head scratcher. But I guess it explains to you, in my mind, why somebody like a Harbaugh or Mike McCarthy, a veteran guy, I don't think he would want to go through those hoops.
Yeah, it's interesting, and obviously Jimmy Haslam and Andrew Barry will be asked about that the next time we talk to him. And I think there's a bunch of reasons why coaches wouldn't want a veteran coach like John Harbaugh, or a Sean McDermott who it sounds like he's going to take a year off. But if he were looking around, looking for a job this year, why they wouldn't have Cleveland high on their priority list of priorities. And maybe that's one of the reasons. I think not having an established quarterback is the biggest reason. I think the history of instability under this ownership group is part of that reason. I know what this last 6 years have been, right? Stable with Andrew Barry and Kevin Stefanski. Before that, it wasn't.
Correct.
And I think the league has a long memory when it comes to that. And do you want to go work for that situation? If the Browns really wanted a guy like Harbaugh, let's say, I don't think they make him go through those kind of hoops. Maybe I'm wrong, and I'd love to find that out. Um, I don't think you would mandate that from an established guy like a Harbaugh. But when you're interviewing, a guy who's 35 years old or a guy who's 30 who's never done this job before, I don't think it's the worst thing to ask those kind of big picture questions. To do the kind of research where you would be comfortable, okay, this guy can lead a team, that he's not just a coordinator, right? That he's not just a quarterbacks coach, whatever it is. Because you're making a leap, right? You're
Hmm.
making a projection of what this guy can be as a leader of your franchise. So, maybe it's unorthodox, maybe it's over the top, but I'm not. It doesn't turn me off. I could see people around the league rolling their eyes like that. I completely get that. This league is a little antiquated, right? And some of the thinking. So does it go against conventional NFL thinking? Sure. Can they go too far? Sure. But I think it comes from a spot of let's do as much research as possible. This is a huge hire, and let's try to get it right. So I don't have an issue with that unless they're taking it to extremes and then really narrowing their list of candidates, their
Yeah,
pool of candidates.
yeah, that was right. That's kind of where my mind went to with it. Is man, they're eliminating guys that so. But I'm with you. If you're really looking at a guy that hasn't done this before, you got to figure something out.